especially once we get to I-95.
Oh boy. Oh, interesting. So you got any like vacations lined up or places?
You know, that's a good question. That's to be determined right now. So
Gotcha.
right now things have been kind of slow in the dead of winter, the pandemic and everything else.
Yeah.
But I think it's about time I got into that bucket list.
Definitely. What's the top 3 places right now on your list, man?
Well, the bucket list of places to visit. Well, actually, one of the things I want to, one of the places I want to go visit is I want to go see Uncle Monroe.
Oh.
He's like 92, 93 now.
Wow.
Still sharp as a whip, though. And
I mean, the last time I saw him, man, he was just like glistening. What the heck?
Right, yeah. I mean, the Rashfords are on that side of the family, man. It's like they live a long time.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we got some of those genetics, right?
Exactly. So, I definitely want to spend some time with him because, here's a guy who, lived during Jim Crow and World War II, and, he served 25, 30 years in the Air Force.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seen a lot. And so, and I'm like, he loves to talk. And he has all his faculties about him, too. So, I totally want to, get out there to New Mexico with him.
Oh, that's where he's right now?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's out there in New Mexico. Just had a house built and everything.
Nice.
So, I want to spend some time with him and try to draw as much as I can from him on camera. Because it's one thing to do it, if you're sitting there, writing it down, or like with a recorder. But, to see somebody speak of something in their own words based on what they've seen.
Yeah.
I think that'd be, pretty cool. And then, like him and I talked about it, so, he's going to try to, get his COVID, shot scheduled, and I'm already on the list.
Really?
County. Yeah.
I'm a little against the shot, honestly, myself.
So, something I always tell people, and I'm going to tell you this as well.
Sure.
From the time they snatch you from your mother's womb, they're pumping you full of all sorts of antivirals, antibiotics, vaccines, and everything else. From that time until about the time you're 5.
That's fair to say.
You can't go to public school, and you can't go to most private schools, without your vaccination and immunization records being up to date. So that's the first part of it. So the second part of it is, the food that you eat every day. And that stuff is full of all sorts of, it was fruits and vegetables, pesticides, a lot of it's GMO and everything else. And then if you're a meat eater like I am, of course those things are pumped full of all sorts of, vaccines and like everything else. So, ultimately, none of us know exactly what we're putting in our bodies unless you're out there growing your own food, raising your own cattle, livestock, and everything else.
Yeah, that's true. That's a true argument. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. My whole thing is just the technology aspect behind it.
Well, the technology has been around for 10 years. You're talking about the messenger RNA?
Yeah.
Yeah, the technology has been around for a while.
That to me, like, a while is just not enough for me to trust the technology to go into my body, per se. And that's just my standpoint on it.
I mean, typically, it takes them 10 years to develop a vaccine. What's the difference?
Well, I guess the difference will be like how this RNA affects people's bodies long term. We haven't really seen enough studies on that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean,
but the same thing can be said about Doritos.
Doritos?
That's the same thing can be said about Doritos or like anything else. Yeah, that they are secretly adding into things to help preserve it, make it last longer, or anything else like that.
Yeah, that purple bag of Doritos, by the way.
See?
Those things are really good. But no, I hear what you're saying. I just looked at back at his reaction to it from one shot.
Yeah.
How it just caused her body to just freak out. There's other cases where people have seizures and stuff. They don't talk about that though.
Yeah, well, that's with any vaccine. People do have reactions to vaccines.
Wait, hang on. This is the other thing.
Okay.
It's gonna get a little touchy here, guys.
All right.
But with the vaccine and everything. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. It'll come back to you.
I was just overthinking.
It's like I had the $1 million point, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's right."
It'll come back, guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There's just too much going on. Dang it, what was I going to say?
That's all right. We come back to it.
I hate when that happens, man. Because usually when I'm thinking about a thing, I think about a lot of things at once, and I just get a little flustered, I guess.
I guess we all do.
Yeah.
That's okay, though. We won't hold it against you.
Oh, man. That's going to bother me if I can't recall.
You're going to call me like midnight. I remember now.
I remember. This is what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, here it was.
Okay.
So, all right, so say you get the vaccine.
Yeah.
But they've been talking about how the virus has been mutating and changing.
That happens all the time in nature.
It does. But how can you prove that this RNA vaccination is going to repel the virus? Wouldn't that mean that you have to get another shot eventually?
And you know what they call that, right? That's called a booster shot.
A booster shot?
That's called a booster shot. And
booster
it's like shots
flu shot, essentially, which you don't see.
No, well, booster shots are used in other types of vaccines, as to where there's a variation, or just the fact that maybe it begins to be not as effective over over years, over time for certain reasons, whatever. So you just go and get a booster. That's all.
Gotcha. So the booster is essentially what the answer is in case the vaccination no longer works.
Right, and then of course you have variations, natural variations that happens in nature, just in general, and things mutate, and same thing, so for example, people think that they get the same cold virus every single year, but it's constantly mutating and being passed up, from person to person. So that's why. Like when you catch a cold, it's usually a different variation of a cold than maybe what you caught a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing with the flu virus, It's constantly mutating, so people go in for the flu shot every year, and that's usually that usually has a vaccine in there for 2 or 3 different strains.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. So in the event that you might see cases where people have really bad reactions,
right,
you're still willing to take it yourself?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the reason being is just because I guess
I don't want to be on the ventilator with a tube stuck in my butt.
A tube in your...
Well, okay.
Don't scare me, man. I'll take that shot now. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is, so I'll tone it down a little bit. I don't want to be on a vent with the catheter sitting on a bedpan, because if they knock you out because you can't breathe on your own, I don't want to be in that kind of position.
Well, I think you could be in that position in many ways, with all sorts of different parts.
Yeah, but it's But if it's preventable by me taking a shot, give me the shot. That plus the line of work that I'm in. It's kind of it's a high risk profession, being in transportation.
It makes sense. I understand. At the end of the day, I think everyone's going to have their own mindset on it, of course.
Right. And that plus, I want to be able to travel freely. I want to be able to visit with people freely. Knowing that I'm vaccinated, they're vaccinated, and so I'm okay with it. I've done, believe me, I've done a lot more damage and a lot more abuse to my body over the years than a vaccine.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.